Hey folks, JD here, and today we are looking at the Syma X5SC. So, the most astute of you would have noticed that this quadcopter has been unboxed about 2 months ago, and only now I'm getting the opportunity to fly her. So what we're going to do first of all is just double check. Yeah, I did unplug the battery for safety. Okay, so the reason that it has taken almost 2 months to fly this is because I had some issues with the first one, so I had to send it back and then get another one then sent out, and then I had a couple of other quadcopters in the meantime, so I thought I'd fly those first. So let's just have a quick little look, a quick little recap on this Syma. So what you'll notice is there are the 4 propellers. The motors are completely encased, rather than the motors showing, the gears, little sprockets showing. They are completely encased, which will give you quite a bit more damage proofness about it. Okay, so a couple of LEDs, orange in the front, green in the back, little camera. Little 2 megapixel camera. This quadcopter does not offer the option of FPV, although as with a lot of the Symas, they will record very good video. So this is what we're going to see today as well. I'll do a little bit of in-flight video for you. So there is a quick release mechanism to get this camera off. Normally there's at least 1 or 2 screws, but with this there's a tiny little button here. You push the button and the camera just slides out. Fantastic quick release mechanism. You can buy other cameras for this model, and indeed for quite a few other Symas as well. So if you did want to change it, or if you did damage this in a crash or anything like that, then those options are available to you. So last minute pre-flight checks. I've already gone through and made sure that all the propellers are on securely and safely. Likewise, all 4 bolts are in on the stands as well. So what we'll do, we shall hook up the battery, which has been on charge for 50 minutes, and then once the battery is hooked up like so, nice little battery compartment bay as well, just fits in really nice. This quadcopter does seem to have been built really well. You can't even very well see the seam that runs around the outside where the top was made and the bottom was then attached to. So yeah, all in all, a very good copter. So what we'll do, we'll knock her on. Now you'll have the 2 green LEDs for the back and the 2 orange for the front. So if we look at the transmitter, as with most quadcopter transmitters, as soon as you power on, you'll have to bind the quadcopter to the transmitter. So one quick motion up and down will bind that quadcopter. So let's turn her over for a second. I'm going to just start the video recording on this one. Okay, so that should be it. So let's take her up. So as with a lot of the Symas, you'll notice the motor sound is extremely faint. It's very quiet to operate, which makes them, you know, #1 quadcopters for a lot of reasons. So there's no altitude hold on this particular model. It is just your own skill that's going to be needed to keep her up. Let's see if I can bring her overhead a little bit. So there we go. That's her. So there's got a little bit of a breeze here today, so I am having a battle against that slightly. As you'll notice from the trees, it is hardly anything. So there we have it. This is a really nice copter. Takes off very simply, very easy to get hold of, very easy to maintain as well. So if we go back to the stump, we'll take off again and we'll turn her around. Let's take her up again. Okay, so let's take her out a little bit. Let's bring her back. Let's turn her around, not forgetting that those orange LEDs are denoting the front of the copter. So it is seeming to have a little bit of a trouble. Okay, there is a slight bit of cross draft here today as well, so that is also impeding the quadcopter's ability quite a little bit as well. So as you can see, she's very stable. She likes to hold, she likes to hover. She will she's a very smooth mover, to the point where you have to actually double check to see if you have turned her around the correct way, just to take that extra couple of seconds look, as she doesn't give any, like with a lot of the other quadcopters you can hear the motors and hear the blades as she turns around. With this one you can't as much. I don't know if that sound is coming across on the video. I hope not, because to me, standing here, she's very, very quiet. So there we have it. She hovers really well. I mean, this copter, don't forget, does not have altitude hold, does not have a barometer, so it does not sense air pressure and then stays up according to that pressure that it senses. So all in all, I think she's doing quite remarkably, to be honest. I mean, we have got a little bit of a breeze here today, as I've already said. So there are a couple of things as well that I like about the Symas that in my other testing I haven't come across with other copters, and that is when you go up to altitude and when you cut out the engines and then when you start to back up, she pretty much rectifies very, very, very easily, very simply. There's not that struggle. She doesn't rock from side to side either. So all in all, I got to be honest and say I'm really quite captivated with the Syma range. I mean, the X5SC-1 and the X5SC-1, they are both fantastic. This seems to be a little bit more refined. It seems to be a lot smoother. I don't know whether they've added different motors to this than they had in the previous models, but it certainly seems to be reacting a lot easier and a lot more sensitively than the other Syma range that I've tested. So let's turn her around a bit as well. Let's take her out a little bit, not too far. I want to keep her within my range. Okay, let's drop her down a little bit, get a little bit too high there. As you can see, it is the sun is just rising here in beautiful Bristol, and the LEDs actually show up really well against the backdrop of the sunrise. So that is that's really good to note, actually. So if you are going to fly this in a dusk setting or in a setting where the sun is rising, then you will notice that the LEDs will be quite easily to be seen. Drop her down a little bit, let's bring her around to me. Okay, here she goes. So yeah, she is responding very, very well. I mean, I'm just rocking the analog stick back and forth, and she's responding excellently. So let's go and get her, and then let's go and try a couple of 3D rolls and see how she responds to being upside down and then the right way around again. Okay, so there's one little flip there. She seems to handle that really well. Let's try another one. Okay, so wait for the beep on the transmitter. Oh, she dropped quite a lot then. Okay, so I would say rock into the 3D flip into the right would be okay, but it does seem that 3D flip into the left, as if there's a little bit of an issue there. Let's double check this, just in case it was my controlling rather than anything. So let's take her up. Okay, let's try a couple of 3D flips now. Okay, so let's get her quite high, and then let's flip her around. And let's flip her around again. Oh, very stable. Flip her forward. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, nicely done. Okay, so then let's see then if we can flip her backwards as well. So let's... Okay, so when it comes to the flipping on these... Oh no, I think that's the battery. That came down to a very nice landing. Yeah, that's the battery. She's gone. Okay, so there we have it. Well, we got a couple of 3D flips in there as well. So that's pretty good. Alright then folks, this has been the Syma X5SC. So that was it. Unfortunately the battery gave up on us after a good 9 minutes of flight. But all in all, fantastic. Really, really good. I really enjoyed flying this one. She was stable without being too stable, if you know what I mean. So there was still a little bit of counteracting I had to do. 3D flipping, fantastic. Make sure you take her up to quite a high altitude. Wait for the transmitter beep before you then push her into some of the 3D flips. So there we have it. I hope you've enjoyed. Please subscribe if you haven't already. That will just give you access to all of my videos through a nice little email link once every couple of days or every couple of weeks once a new video goes up there. Don't forget as well that if you hop over onto our blogger site, then you will find that there are written reviews as well to go with the video reviews. So I hope you've enjoyed all that, and until next time my friends, happy flying.